I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Entire hour. Are you pouring coffee? Daniel, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
told me that you're 2 minutes away. When are you going to be
In
here?
like five minutes.
5 minutes?
Daniel?
Mm-hmm. Oh! Ladies, we're ready.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Congratulations. When are you due?
Good day with Daniel Bennett.
Good day. Welcome to another episode of Good Day. My name is Daniel Bennett, and it's great to have you join us today. And yeah, today can be a good day. I'll talk about it here in a minute. I have to start off with a story about my kids, though. My daughter right now is at a point of childhood where she's losing teeth. And at first, so this is one of those things as a dad that I've looked forward to, but you also I didn't expect it to happen so soon. She's 6 years old right now. And when she first started getting loose teeth, like her first loose tooth ever, I always pictured pulling a tooth, right, when it was me, and my dad can verify how we did this. He's our guest today. Is you tie a little string around your tooth and then you slam the door. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of that one. Or you just yank it out, stuff like that. And so I tried tying it around, and I was like, these teeth are so slippery. No one tells you how tiny these little teeth are. And so it just took forever. She used to be terrified because she'd say, okay, Daddy, take the tooth out. And then she'd cover her mouth and be like, I'm ready. And I move her hand and she closes her mouth, the whole deal. If any of you have kids that have lost teeth, you know what I'm talking about. It was quite the ordeal. I always imagined it being very simple, right? You just tie it around the tooth, pull it out, or something like that. It did not work. I went online and I literally had to buy like dentist pliers that would get the right grip because I couldn't get anything. So it used to be this whole ordeal, but now, so a few nights ago, I was brushing my daughter's teeth and one of them started bleeding. She's like, ow. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And so she just walks out and then she just pulls out her own tooth and she's like, Daddy, look. And so it's become very easy now. She literally just pulled out her own tooth. And we don't do the tooth fairy thing. If you believe in the tooth fairy, close your ears for a second. So my daughter says, don't forget to put it under my pillow so Mommy can put money under my pillow later tonight. So we still do the tradition. We just, I don't believe in lying to my kids. We can debate some other time. Anyway, so yeah, it's that extends to many other things. You can uncover your ears now, if all the children viewers. One of the things, again, this show's about having a good day, choosing to have a good day no matter what's going wrong. My intro video is not actually that accurate because it's showing me having a terrible day. And I have run late before. I have had things like that happen before. But really, I'm actually pretty good at enjoying each day. One of the secrets to having a good day is to not focus on having a good day. And what I mean by that is stop watching this show right now. Just kidding. Self-centeredness is not the key to joy. Okay, if you're saying, how do I make sure I have a good day? I want everything to go right. I want everyone to bless me. I want people to look out for me and do everything the way I want them to do it. That is not the key to having a good day. That's the key to being miserable because you're just looking for everything wrong because you want everyone to bless you. One of the keys to having a good day is to be generous, is to focus on how do I make other people have a good day? What could I do to bless people? How could I find ways to be kind, to be generous? Be generous with your words, with your actions, with your money, with your time, with all kinds of different things. So generosity is one of the keys to joy. If you want to have a good day, it's about focusing on God and focusing on other people. And by looking for ways to bless others, we realize that we're having a good time also. Right? Like when I take my kids to the zoo or to the park or to a theme park, things like that, I don't even go there saying like, I can't wait to do the rides that I want to do. I literally show up and say, this trip is about them having fun. And I have way more fun than when I used to focus on how I could have fun. I'm like, how can I make this the best trip for them possible? Instead of saying like, well, you guys wait here while I go off and do the fun stuff. I'm like, no, how can I make this the best time for them? And I have more fun as a result. It's better to give than to receive. So yeah, if we're asking ourselves, how can I bless someone else? How can I help other people have a great day? How can I take peace and joy with me wherever I go? Instead of walking into a room, have you ever had somebody walk into a room and they just change the atmosphere. Everyone's having a good time. They walk in, everyone's in a bad mood. You can do the opposite too. You can be the kind of person where you walk into a room and suddenly people are having more joy, they're enjoying life more, there's more laughter, more encouragement, things like that. So yeah, blessing God, I'll end with this, blessing God. Blessing other people is one of God's favorite things to do also. So when you live your life looking for people to bless, that's a great activity to do with God. So now you're partnering with Him saying, God, how can we bless other people today? How can we have a great time today? And again, by doing that, you will have a good day. So just one more little nugget on how to enjoy your day. And we have a very special guest today, someone who always has a great day because he's so thankful to be my father. We have Barry Bennett here in just a moment. I'll see you.
You know, life is tougher than an overcooked $2 steak. But keeping a good attitude, well, that just keeps it all in perspective. How to stay positive in a negative world. Log on to gooddayGTN.com to get your free copy today.
Welcome back. Our special guest today is my dad, Barry Bennett. You're the senior instructor here at 𝗙𝗵𝗄𝗃. You've been here for 17 years now, I believe.
That's right.
I've been here 17 years.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show.
Hey, good to be here, I think.
Yeah, I can't help but notice that I've had you on my show. When am I going to be on your show?
You're not, yeah. Mine is a serious show. You can't come.
I don't know what you're talking about. But on that note, no. How are you enjoying doing your show?
It's good. We had a lot of practice in the previous years doing live Bible studies, so that got me into the rhythm of this kind of thing, and it's an opportunity to reach a lot more people. So I'm happy with it.
Yeah, that'll be good. And 2 of my kids are in your intro video.
They are, yeah.
So that's fun.
So it's fun.
Yeah. So what we have here is, so you're very serious. That's your persona. I know better.
Yeah, that's all fake.
So we're not playing a game or anything like that. Sarah wanted us to play the marshmallow shoving in your mouth game.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
No.
See, I come by honestly. Okay, so what we have here are, I'll ask you other questions also, but the blue pile are serious questions or deeper questions, and the red pile are funny questions. And so I'm going to go straight for the red pile. And so I have some to ask you, and you can ask me some. We don't have to get through the whole stack.
Okay.
I have not read these. Well, I don't know which ones we're drawing. What's the strangest place you've ever been lost?
Have I ever been lost?
Yes.
The strangest place I've ever been lost, I don't know. Perhaps somewhere when we lived in Chile, maybe I got lost driving through Santiago. That's probably.
It's a big city.
Yeah, it's a big city.
So never hiking or anything?
Hiking? No, I got shot at once while I was hiking.
I remember that, yeah.
Actually twice.
Yeah, don't elaborate. Let's move on.
Okay.
Okay. So you were hiking and someone thought you were stumbling on their weed farm or something?
I think so, yeah. And so a couple warning shots that hit above my head.
Yeah.
And I got unlost real quick and got out of there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just run away from the gunfire.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think me getting lost, probably I was in St. Petersburg, Russia, and I was walking toward the subway, and while I'm just going to find my way. I think I know my way around, and I didn't realize how many of the buildings look identical. And so it turned out I stopped at a subway, and I had a good feeling where I was, but the subways, they always have a map. And when I saw where I was, I realized I wasn't at all where I thought I was. And if I hadn't found that one, I would have walked for an hour in just the totally wrong direction.
Yeah.
And so thankfully, once I found a subway, I was safe because I could work my way back. But I was completely disoriented because I'd been walking for hours just through St. Petersburg, and I like it, but I had no clue where I was.
Yeah. Well,
I get lost all the time.
when I was there for a week
Oh, yeah.
after you, staying with Mike and Carrie. And it's an incredible city.
Mm-hmm.
The subways go into the earth about a half a mile.
That's wild.
It's something.
Yeah, no, I loved it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw a post. You know how Facebook gives you old posts from years ago?
Yeah.
So I saw the post from when I was leaving, and I just said, I don't want to go, because I liked it. Okay, awesome. So your question. You can choose which pile.
Okay, we'll do funny again. If you could design your own dream house, what's one quirky feature you'd include?
Oh, there's so many. I think I got this from you. I used to draw my dream house all the time as a kid, and I still think about it. But there have to be trapdoors. There has to be like a secret basement. I want an indoor pool, and I want a moat connected to the indoor pool. So I think a moat is the big
Well,
one.
I figured you'd say water slide.
Yeah. Well, there could be water slides going into it,
Yeah.
but the kids just tried their first lazy river like a month ago for Joshua's birthday. And so they love the lazy river now. And so I think they would all be on board. I want a lazy river moat going around the house and through the house.
That sounds good.
I don't know how practical it would be.
We didn't ask about practical.
Yeah. It's
Quirky.
Okay. So what's yours? That's you.
I would go with that. You know, I would water. I would have a lap pool, but then I'd also have the fun things around it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that would be great.
Just a whole little,
Water park.
I think Ashley wants to live at a theme park.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Next question. Okay, you've traveled. What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen on a menu at a restaurant?
The weirdest thing I've seen on a menu at a restaurant, probably not weird to the people that were there, but intestines stuffed with something and blood everywhere, that kind of thing.
Is that what hot dogs are?
I think probably.
I have no idea what's in a hot dog.
Yeah,
I still eat them.
no, when we worked with Cambodian refugees many years ago, we saw some unusual food items in that. And one time I ate something I thought was a green bean, and it wasn't. It was a hot pepper, super hot pepper. I screamed. Everybody laughed. I was in agony. Everybody was cracking up. But you got to ask what you're eating before you eat it. So.
Yeah, I ate a pepper in Mexico. They said that's just for decoration. Even we don't eat those. And I was like, well, I got to try it. So I ate it, and it was so intense that I got the hiccups. And I couldn't taste the rest of the meal. So I was devastated because it was my favorite meal.
Yeah.
And I ate it at the beginning, and so my tongue couldn't get flavor. I mean, it was just on fire.
Yeah. No.
So I was like, I should have done that on the way out, But yeah, it's the one where you're crying and you don't even care, and you're hiccuping. It's when the people from World Outreach, when all the directors from around the world visited recently, we went through the kitchen to grab our lunches, and I got a hamburger and fries because I just didn't want the main meal. And they looked at me, and I felt so judged because they're like, "Oh, burger and fries, you're so American." I was like, "You think I'm weird? Is this the burger and fries?"
Would they have international things available?
I have no idea what they were eating. It was just
okay.
normal stuff to me, but I didn't realize that hamburgers are so American that other countries, they don't eat those regularly. I eat those quite a bit. All right. One more silly one before we get to the real meat of this interview.
All right.
This questioning. Let's see. If you could choose a different era to live in for a month, which one would it be?
A different era to live in for a month.
Yeah.
A month.
That's better.
Yeah, so you can leave after a month.
Yeah.
I would probably want to go back into the 40s. I'm just fascinated with the 40s and how the country came together during the war and the camaraderie and the people having to sacrifice quite a bit. But the music I like of the 40s, the politeness was still there in our country. So that kind of thing I like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good one. Because it's only for a month, because it's for a month, I'd be willing to go to the past. But typically my answer would be I'd want to go to the future. So how far ahead can I go? 100 years, 1,000 years? I'd love to go to the end, right? like the month leading up to Jesus returning. Like I want to see that month. Because really, the more you go back to the past, you just lose the conveniences of life. So a month I think is doable, but I like running water. I like having indoor restrooms. I like some of these things. I mean, I've lived without these things, but so I know I like them.
So yeah.
So,
Right.
but yeah, I'd love to go back and see, probably even like King David's time. I'd love to see way back in the day, or even just before the flood. Early time.
Yeah, that would be good. Yes.
That'd be interesting. So
Yeah.
like a month in the Garden of Eden.
I don't know if they were there that long.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, I don't know. All right, your turn. You can
Okay,
choose
we'll
a
do
step.
you want to do serious?
Sure.
What's a personal experience that made you reevaluate your priorities or life direction?
Oh, it's a good one. Well, I'll say the obvious one of having kids. You have kids and you're like, everything I care about has shifted. Or things that I used to think were fun are still fun, but I care so much more about them that all your priorities shift. I'd say even getting married, I used to just travel around like crazy. I'd go all over the world, do different stuff, and I never committed to anything long term. I'd do something for a few months and then change, do something else for a little while. And so I like to just kind of float around. And then having kids, getting married really helped me realize like the best things in life require long-term commitment. You got to buckle down, invest in something for a long time. Things you used to tell me that I had to learn on my own. You're like, Daniel,
I tried.
Here's what you should do. And I was like, no, I'm going to do all this other stuff. Then I was like, oh, you might have been right. I've heard some people say that you teach. I don't, so
it's a hobby of mine.
yeah. So I never found out.
I mean, having kids for us was a drag. I mean, life just kind of came to a halt. So we were having a good time, but anyway.
That's why you don't teach on parenting. You just hated it.
Right.
It was just the worst. Yeah. So what about for you?
I forget the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Such a good answer.
Made me reevaluate my priorities. Wow. I mean, obviously marriage, obviously children, and then basically I've just been following the grace of God through my life.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really had to reevaluate because I knew what I was called to do, and different doors of that kind of thing keep opening for me, including this and TV shows. And so I'm not reevaluating right now. I'm just enjoying.
Yeah, it'd be pretty late to reevaluate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never too late, but you just had a birthday.
I might start after the show's over.
Reevaluate what you say yes to. Yeah. So you were all focused on missions. Like you got born again as an adult, so a different experience than I had.
I was 20. I don't know if I was an adult, but I was.
Well, okay. Yeah.
Supposed to be.
Yeah. But you were very intense right off the bat, went to Bible college, went off to go do missions, all this kind of stuff. But you were all missions, and I just thought of you as my parents are missionaries. But the last 20 years you guys haven't been. So what was the shift where you're still in ministry, but it shifted from a passion for missions to a passion for the world, but doesn't look like missions anymore?
Yeah, that's interesting. And again, it's just an evolution of seasons. And you mentioned seasons in another broadcast, I think. But the seasons of life, when, as we say, the grace lifts from one place and moves to something new, I don't look back. I just move into the new thing. So I'm not nostalgic for where we used to be. I loved it. I enjoyed it. Everything was good, great experiences. But I'm in the new thing right now, and I don't look back. And so I enjoy what I'm doing now. And looking forward to what else God has. So.
Yeah, but you guys were hardcore. Like the older I get, the more I realize how intense you guys were. Because back in the day, I tell Ashley this stuff. When my family moved to Central America, then South America, that's back when you had all your stuff in cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
And it would end up in other continents
It did.
or other countries.
Right.
And just there weren't easy. Airplane tickets weren't cheap. Phone calls were super expensive, so we had to send cassette tapes back and forth, record our voices, put it in the mail, send the cassette tape, VHS. That was intense.
Looking back, it was. I mean, at the time, we had all the technology that we had.
Yeah, it didn't seem weird at the time.
But now looking back, it was interesting, and we learned how to take showers, cold showers, or electrocuted showers with the electric heater thing, or sit 2-liter Coke bottles out in the sun with water in them, and then wash your hair with those and that kind of thing. So we learned a lot of that kind of life.
So what did you learn? So you and Mom were so adventurous, and again, at the time it seemed normal to me. That's all I knew. But But what are some things that you learned, or what are some things that you realized zeal also needs wisdom?
Yeah,
the
the
balance.
financial part of it, I think. I was very zealous and not as prepared as probably I needed to be for the financial end of taking a family of 5 to someplace. So that's where I think my zeal may have gotten ahead of me. But God was good. We struggled for a number of years, but as the years went by, life got better and better. And when you finally left home, it got way better. So
It's a huge boost.
you got a whole new bedroom to use. So.
Yeah. So shifting gears a little bit, yeah, your show called Free Indeed. I remember hearing some of the things about it, and I was like, oh, I don't think that sounds like you. And then you said, oh no, that's totally what I want for. So
Yeah.
so you're telling me how you just not too long ago got this revelation of just the freedom of God and how just like children running through a field.
Right. Yeah. I came to a place of becoming childlike, I guess. And I'm still working on that. But understanding freedom. So often we get born again and we go straight into a church, and all of a sudden we have rules and regulations and structure, and am I saying this right? Did I do this right? And the joy of salvation gets lost. And so I have recaptured for me that joy of salvation, of having fun, of enjoying God, of trusting Him in a very, very real way, not in a religious doctrinal way, but just God is for me. God is wanting to bless me. God is wanting to take me into good things. And I enjoy the journey. I trust the journey. I trust the Father. And so Free Indeed is about learning to understand the goodness of God, the favor of God, the blessings of God, all the promises of God. We've done some shows about that. So it's just wanting to encourage people that it's not all about do's and don'ts, right and wrong, is this a sin, is that a sin, but it's about getting to know God who loves us more than we can imagine.
So how does that tie in? So from my perspective, one of your life messages is revelation knowledge. So how does that kind of tie in with that? Like what's the core that you like? Do most episodes kind of go back to this common theme, or
I don't know where they go. I'm free, and so I get to share what I want to share.
it's a good title. They let you do anything you
I
want.
can do anything I want. But revelation knowledge is this newest revelation for me, is to be free in the Lord. And so that's the tie. Not that I'm done having revelation from God, but and revelations that I've had in the past keep getting deeper, keep getting bigger. I have discovered that revelation is like a seed. And you can get it, like I've had major revelations when I was in my early 20s that are still growing and producing fruit now. So it never stops. And as long as you keep watering that with your fellowship with God and in the Word, the revelation should keep flowing.
So shifting a little bit, I was talking with Alexis about people recognizing you and when you share from your personal life, because like you said, you don't just share head knowledge, you're sharing your life with people, things that you've learned and grown in. It creates this this familiarity, right? People feel like they've read your journal, so they know you, but you don't know them.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that?
Well, I've gotten used to it. The first few times it was unusual because I would go somewhere to another campus, one of our extension campuses, to teach, and everybody has heard all of my lessons, all of my stories. They know my kids' names, they know my grandkids' names, they know everything. And so they come up acting as if they know me, as you're describing, and I'm like, it's a Twilight Zone episode for me because I don't know anybody, but they all know me. So that was weird, but now I've gotten used to it, and it happens in our recent conferences. People come up and they know me, and that's great. So I've gotten used to it.
I know, I love it, but I hate accidentally hurting someone's feelings, because some people come up and they'll tell me a joke that's in response to something I said in a video that I filmed 5 years ago.
Yeah, right.
I have no idea what they're talking about.
Right.
And they're like, Daniel, how about this?
Right.
And I'm like, what are you?
Yeah.
And then they look kind of like I betrayed them. You know, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I promise, I don't remember what I said, and I don't know what you're making a joke about, and I've never seen you in my life, but you know me.
Yeah.
But I bet we'd get along great. I just don't know you yet.
Some of our videos are a little bit old, and things that I used to share I may not share anymore, not out of deliberate intention, just I've forgotten some of those stories, and then people will remind me, and I'll think, yeah, that's a great story, I should share that again.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the benefits of me telling kids stories, or some of my wacky adventures I've had, is that I forget about them, and then I watch an old video or something, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did get chased buy a bowl down the street. Totally forgot about that.
How did you forget that?
Yeah.
So,
It's so many animals have chased me. Yeah. How did you feel about? Okay, from a parent's perspective, I used to get bit by dogs all the time,
yes, you did.
and I also used to step in dog poop. What's the right word to say on TV?
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
good. You're good.
Okay, I was about to say poo, and I've never said poo in my life. Why would I start right now? One time, we were walking together toward a bus in Chile, and this is the final moment I've been building up to. I stepped on dog poop, and it smelled so bad, you made me sit somewhere else on the bus. Do you remember this?
I do not.
You do not remember this.
I do not.
You had me sit 10 rows back on the bus. It's one of my favorite memories of you. Just kidding.
Sounds
I'm
like
just
me.
kidding. No,
So, yeah.
but I get it now because sometimes you're like, okay, anyway.
Yeah.
No, but so as a parent, so I used to get bit by dogs all the time. I don't know what it was. I was a dog magnet. Do you remember in Guatemala?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So as a parent, what was that like? Because I think I was 7 years old. I'm just walking down the street and all of a sudden a dog just jumps out and bites me.
Yeah, something about you. But we didn't enjoy that at all. And of course, you don't know what the dog might have in terms of disease.
Didn't someone come and get a piece of cheese and put it on the
An
blood?
old woman came out with a piece of cheese, and that was a cultural remedy for a dog bite, and she put it on the wound to draw out the poison if there was any.
Well, I thought it was if the dog's willing to eat it, it's not infected.
Well, first they have to put it on your wound,
Okay.
and then if the dog eats it,
Yeah.
yeah,
Sounds weird.
whatever. Anyway, you're fine, I think.
It all started. I think that's
Yeah, that might be where things went south.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, we're out of time, or else I'd dive into more stories of you letting me down. No,
Yeah.
I'm joking. No, it was a lot of fun. I remember one time you guys said, we moved back to the States, and you said, we're so sorry for the things you missed out on. And I was like, what are you talking about? I've loved my life. And look at the people who didn't go. Look how weird my friends turned out.
Yeah.
And so I remember once you're like, we're so sorry. And I was like, this was amazing. I encourage people all the time, like, if God's calling you, your kids can love it. It doesn't have to be this sacrifice for them. It can be this amazing adventure for them. I've loved it.
Yeah, your mom probably didn't love it, but you guys did.
I loved it. I had a blast.
So.
It was the best. I see some people love it, some don't, but I really think it's just kind of the perspective of you focus on the adventure, not on what you could have had, because it's just material things or whatever else. But it was great. Anyway,
Good.
Well, it's great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And
I
remember-
hope you'll have me back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If
Okay.
you'll let me know after if you actually want to do this again.
Yeah.
Next
No,
time we'll
I
play
would,
the marshmallow
I would do
game.
this. I would do this.
Yeah. But I remember years ago, we spoke at the same conference once. It was a campus days, and I was like, "This is crazy," because I used to see you on the stage as a kid, and now we're speaking at the same conference together. I was like, "This is awesome," and then that's literally the day that you had to go to the hospispittal because you almost died.
Oh.
and I was like, "No, this can't. No,
it
this
was
can't
pretty
be a
traumatic for me to be on the stage with you.
Yeah, I was like, this can't be a one-time thing. And so now it's
Yeah.
crazy that you're here in this very serious show.
It's great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy for you. Congratulations on your show.
Oh, well,
I know it's
thanks.
going to be a blessing.
Oh, well, awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks for joining us. And don't forget, today is going to be a good day. Bye.